Hey guys, welcome back to News to the Sonic, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. Here to talk to you about this topic here that I've been putting off, but I've been wanting to cover it because this needs to be addressed. And I think this is going to be probably the last time I address it until we get something new about it. Because if you all don't know, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has been reportedly delayed to be polished after the backlash. And you all know the backlash that this game has received. So much negativity has come along the way towards this game, and I think that I'm a part of that. At least a lot of people are accusing me to be negative about this game, and they are saying things like, well, you haven't played it yet, so how can you say horrible? Because like, this game looks like garbage. It looks like hot doo-doo water.
Literal doo-doo water?
I mean, what's the point about video game trailers? I mean, without video game trailers, we as human beings wouldn't be able to form an impression about it. That's what they're for us to form an impression. You can't sit there and tell me you've never been able to form an impression due to a trailer. You just can't sit there and say that, oh, I saw this movie trailer the other day and I thought it looked like shit, or I saw this movie trailer the other day and I thought it looked good. Well, guess what? The principles apply whether you think it looks good or if you think it looks bad. You haven't seen the movie yet. You haven't played the game yet. So how do you know it's going to be good and how do you know it's going to be bad? After everything I've seen, after like the mechanics and the characteristics and all the features that this game is going to have, I was able to form an impression that this game looks like crap. And that's evident because of this. It is clearly evident that this game is not finished. It's rushed. It's poorly designed. The gameplay itself doesn't look like anything new. And it's just, it looks awful. So I'm going to go ahead and read this article from Forbes, and then we're going to go ahead and discuss. Plus, I have some juicy comments that I want to read to you all. Don't worry, I hit the usernames so that way nobody gets harassed. And that's another thing about harassment. The comments I'm about to read, if you recognize any of these comments, do not go after them in the comment section and start bothering them. I don't appreciate that. I feel like nobody who comments on YouTube should be harassed. Please do not go out and try to bother them, and don't try to tease them or bully them in any way. But anyways, let's go ahead and read this. So Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League reportedly delayed to be polished after backlash. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has been hit with another major delay, according to Bloomberg's Jason Schreier. While not publicly confirmed, it's being reported that the game will not be out this May, just 2 months from now, as previously promised, and will be out later in the year instead. This is after the game was already delayed out of 2022 to its current spring release date. There's even word that the game might get delayed to 2024. How's that gorgeous, fun-looking game looking to you now, guys? Seriously, it's been a strangely rocky road for Suicide Squad, given that everyone assumed that Rocksteady's next post-Arkham superhero game would be a slam dunk, no matter what it was. But last month, Suicide Squad took center stage during a high-profile PlayStation showcase, and the reaction was poor, to say the least. Listen, don't take it from me, okay? I know I'm just a small-time YouTuber who only has about 12,800 subs. I'm not flexing anything, even though 12,800 subs is a significant amount for me, and I think it's a lot, and I'm very thankful for you guys for subscribing. It doesn't compare to anybody who's like much bigger than I am. Pause. But anyways, as I was saying, anybody that has more of a following, such as Some Ordinary Gamers, Mudahar, the guy is awesome. Take it from him. He actually made a video like this. I think it's called This Needs to Stop. In fact, I will use some clips of his in this video just to, I guess, prove my point in a way, being that since he has a larger following, he probably has a little bit more credibility than I do. Not, I wouldn't say probably, but he does have more credibility than I do. And some other large, YouTubers really have a lot more. Their criticisms, I guess I can say, are more valid than mine. And I'm not saying mine are not completely valid, because I think what I'm trying to say is that everything that we've seen so far, and I think a lot of people can agree with me with this, is that everything we've seen so far, it's not completely original. We've seen this stuff before.
Rocksteady wants to make Suicide Squad, okay? The new game, the new release by this company, and unfortunately, it's a live service piece of crap. And I say live service piece of crap because that's literally just what it is. It's an open world, 4-player, I guess intended to be 4-player, looter shooter, super villain game. Okay, that's all it comes down to. They said, what type of game is Suicide Squad? It is a new genre-defining third-person action-adventure shooter video game, allowing players to take on the roles. Okay, now I'm going to show you the gameplay real quick, and we're gonna try to find out what's so genre-defining about this. Oh man, Third person open world shooter? Whoa, you can jump in the air? Wow, Poggy Woggy. Oh no, different characters, skills? Wow. Hold on a minute. I'm going to pause it right here, okay? Sarcasm aside, your genre defining happened back in Borderlands, back when Destiny came out. Is an internet connection required to play? Yes, an internet connection is required to play Suicide. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, an internet connection is required to play a solo game.
And it's not impressive. I mean, for God's sakes, have you seen the UI? For a second there, I thought I was actually looking at Marvel's Avengers once again. This is like the perfect case of corporate needing you to find the differences between these two pictures. And they're exactly the same picture. Also, Captain Boomerang, most powerful weapon, or at least main weapon, is a gun? I'm sorry, but I didn't know we were dealing with Captain Gun here. Captain Boomerang. Why aren't at least his boomerangs altered with different abilities and characteristics? Instead, you got to equip them with guns. I mean, that's ridiculous. And also, let's go ahead and take a break from this article here and let's read some of the comments that we found. And believe me, some of these comments are quite juicy. So we're going to go ahead and start with the first one. So this one's not a bad comment. I actually ended up liking it. If they delayed it, then it's a good thing. But if not, I don't think people should judge a game before they play it. That's fair. Like I played Avengers and Gotham Knights. I do understand they are not worth the hype at all. Actually, they disappoint. But as a game, I enjoyed playing it. See, I can get behind that comment. That is a completely fair, honest, and respectable comment. While this person can understand that, you know, the disappointment behind like these trailers that we saw, I think it's fair not to judge a game. Okay, I get it. But he can understand both sides. This guy is able to see both sides. And I can definitely appreciate that. And I'll tell you this. And like I said this before to somebody else who made a comment. Don't let my opinion affect your decision into playing this game. If you think you're going to enjoy this game, if you think you're going to like this game a lot and you're still going to buy it, good on you. Good for you. I really hope you do enjoy it. But honestly, I'm not going to sit here and bend the knee and apologize for the comments that I made previously on my last couple videos, because I only made about 2 videos on this game already. And I posted a post on my community tabs talking about the Suicide Squad. And a lot of people seem to like just either disagree, which is fine. I'm okay with disagreeing, or going completely against me and trying to like, you know, dig on me by saying like, oh yeah, I can't believe you would judge it, you're such a Marvel fanboy, which is also one of the comments that I got there, which I thought was genuinely hilarious that people would say something like that. It's like, if you're gonna try to insult me, at least try to do better. Marvel fanboy, that's terrible. The next comment here is like, why don't you give it a fair shot? Yeah, so far what we've seen hasn't been great, but maybe the finished product will be better than when we anticipated. I can understand where you're coming from when you say that, but you start off by saying, why don't you give it a fair shot? Yeah, so far what we've seen hasn't been great. It's like you're kind of contradicting yourself a little bit. You know what we've seen so far hasn't been great, but you want me to give it a fair shot. So let me ask you this, commentator. You see something you don't like, but you haven't tried it, but you don't like it because of what you've seen. Would you want to try to give it a fair shot for the most part? Maybe sometimes you might want to give something a fair shot, even though you may think that you may not like it. But do you really feel like it? Everybody that makes these kinds of comments saying that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, or you shouldn't judge a game by its cover or by its trailer, you all are acting like you've never made a judgment call or never had an impression before. Because if you claim that you never had an impression before, well, I gotta say that you're lying. I'm sorry. I think you're just full of shit if you're saying things like that. So the next comment here says, people really be hating on it just to hate. No, I'm not just hating on this game because I just feel like hating and I just to hate. I mean, if that were the case, I would say, wow, this game looks like crap. I hate it. That's it. Without any valid criticisms or feedback whatsoever. No, that's not the case. I don't hate this game because I hate it. I'm not liking what I've seen so far because of the features that they talked about, like the always online while single player. Come on, man. What happens if your internet goes out? What happens if you don't pay your internet bill? What happens when you are out in public and you want to play, let's say, your PlayStation games out on the go by using PS Remote Play? So you need an internet connection all the time just to play solo if you don't feel like playing online with your friends and family? No. Why do that? If you want to play single player, like Marvel Spider-Man, for example, I'm going to use that as an example. You can play Marvel Spider-Man solo. No online connection required. You can even play Marvel's Avengers solo. No internet connection required if you want to play solo. And that game is garbage. That game sucks. Anyways, the next one. I hate that they all have guns. Yeah, I don't like that they have guns. It brings me back to that Captain Boomerang comment that I made earlier today. Yeah, Captain Gun is equipped with a bunch of guns. And, you know, not the one weapon that he's well known for using in the comics, which is a boomerang. Come on. It hasn't even come out yet, and people are shitting on it. The gameplay doesn't even look bad. Y'all just don't like anything different. Anything different? Tell me that these images are different. I'm sorry. If you're going to say that Suicide Squad is different from like that Destiny, Marvel's Avengers looking ass games, like, I'm sorry. This is nothing different. This is completely like the same.
Literal doo-doo water?
We've seen this before. Hell, we've been seeing this kind of UI since like 2006, for God's sakes. Call of Duty? Destiny, anybody? Get real. You know, you don't have to comment on a game you're not going to play. I mean, it's honestly a very idiotic thing to do, just ruining the experience for everyone. Yes, because my comments is going to ruin the experience. Yes, my comments is going to ruin the game. Yes, my comments is going to ruin the chance of you playing Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Some rando on the internet is going to ruin the experience for you. Come on. I'm sorry, but if you don't like my comments or your feelings are feeling like hurt because of my comments, wear a helmet. Bro, game looks incredible. Stop being a Marvel fanboy. So because I'm ripping on a Suicide Squad game, which is by DC Comics, that automatically makes me a Marvel fanboy. While I do have a preference for Marvel comics and Marvel games and whatnot, just criticizing a DC game does not make me a Marvel fanboy. There are Marvel properties that I think are shit, like Avengers. Marvel's Avengers is a shit game. Hell, the services have been discontinued. And I feel like the same fate is going to be applied to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So, no, it doesn't make me a Marvel fanboy. Get out of here with that shit. But anyways, back to the article. Gameplay looks strange, like some sort of version of Crackdown with characters flying through the air, all shooting some form of weaponry. But the main problem appeared to be the model itself, and rather that being a story-focused single-player outing, Suicide Squad is a co-op loot-based shooter with live stream service elements. With more characters and content promise after release. The trailer talked about gear score and showed off looted weaponry. Oh my god, looted weaponry! Come on with that garbage! Oh, every time I read looted weaponry or like cosmetics, it just sends chills down my spine. Jesus Christ. That would be shared across all classes, meaning King Shark and Harley Quinn wield the same guns. King Shark wielding a gun instead of using his ultimate weapon, his jaws, you know, those things that are made to destroy and rip apart flesh and tear through his enemies. No, you got to give the man-eating shark a fucking gun. Come on. However, this current delay, which at most is likely to be a few more months, is not going to lead a complete overhaul of the game. It can't, as it's far too late to redesign the entire content of the game away from this GAAS version. Instead, it's mostly about polishing what is there. It's unclear how Suicide Squad will be received in the end. There are also baseline problems with the IP, as DC keeps pushing the Suicide Squad concept despite two different movies, one terrible one, one good one that didn't make enough money. Now we have this game which stars similar characters when everyone thought Rocksteady's next project would be a Superman Wonder Woman title or something like that. There's a lot to prove here, so if the core concept can't be changed now, at the very least, it needs to launch polished and mostly bug-free. I totally agree. Look, I'll be honest with you, okay? I'll give them this. Rocksteady took initiative and they took it upon themselves to be like, you know what? This backlash, not a good thing. And I can understand why people would react this way. At least they didn't actually call out people, you know, commenting about this game, you know, saying that, oh, it looks like crap, whatever. They didn't do the unprofessional thing by calling out these commentators and saying that, oh, you're all a bunch of trolls and whatnot. No, they took the initiative and they made the right move by saying, you know what, we got to put this game back in the drawing board. We got to polish it up and fix it up so that way it is actually set to the gamers' standards. And I'm glad that they're actually taking this game back to the drawing board to make any adjustments or fixes that they got to do to make it more appealing to the gamers. Perhaps they may recall the idea of the always online feature to play the game solo. I hope they can at least get rid of that. Keep the online feature, but only for multiplayer purposes. But if you want to play solo, I feel like you shouldn't have to be restricted to always be connected to an internet connection just to play a little bit just to play solo. In case you don't want to play with anybody and you just want to come home, decompress and play a game by yourself, I feel like any game should be playable by itself without an internet connection. Because honestly, if a game always requires internet connection, even if it's solo, it makes it a vegetable. Not to mention, this is the last and final project that we will ever hear Kevin Conroy's Batman. And I can't believe this will be the final mark on his legacy of voicing the character for almost 30 years now. It's just a sad thing. But overall, I'm actually happy that they decided to take this game back and delay it a little bit more so they can at least work on the bugs. Who knows? Perhaps this game will end up being better than we think because of this recalls. Anyways, you let me know your thoughts. Comment down below with your comments, theories, and suggestions and whatnot. Do you agree or disagree with my comments? Do you agree that this was the right thing for Rocksteady to do by delaying this game a little bit more so they can work on it a little bit more? Comment down below with your thoughts and theories. And if you like this video, go ahead and like it. If you dislike it if you did. I don't really care. I mean, you're free to do that. And I'm not going to block you or think anything different of you otherwise. Anyways, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notifications so y'all don't miss anything. As always, I will see you all in the next comic panel.